Do you swear and affirm to tell the truth at today's proceedings? Thank you. Board?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to September 27 Code Enforcement Board hearings. My name is Mark Booth. Let me introduce you to the board. This is a volunteer board. We don't get paid to be here. If you would like to volunteer, see the city official. Anyhow, to my far left is William Marks. To my immediate left is Chris Everett. To my far right is Michael Madfis, and to my immediate right is Justin Beecham. And at the desk here is Terry Nolan. Our board attorney is Kimberly Smith, sorry. Yes, Kimberly Smith. So go ahead, start off with the first hearing. Yes.
Hello? Okay. Our first case is on page 4. Inspector Jose Saragusti, property address 3030 Holiday Drive, owner Harbor Beach Property LLC, in care of the Mac Co. Case number CE-200111726. Notice posted at the property on 9/12/22, posted at City Hall 9/13/22. This case was first heard on 1/25/22 to comply by 3/22/22. One section at $100 per day, order recorded, not complied. There are 2 extensions noted.
Good morning, Inspector Saragusti on behalf of the city, updating the case as read. The case is not complied, no permit issue. I will let the respondent to speak.
Go ahead, respondent. What's your name?
Hi, good morning. I'm Roya Edwards with toothacre.org. I'm here on behalf of the Boucher Brothers and also the Marriott. So this structure is located on the beach of sand and also not only required city permits and county permits, but also a coastal construction control line permit from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. And we have a full permitting team on board, and they were obtaining the required city and county permits when the city's zoning department brought to our attention that the city's floodplain manager required a approved CCCL permit from the state before signing off and approving their city permit. So right away, the Boucher Brothers brought on the Chappelle Group and retained their services to obtain the CCCL permit, their environmental permitting specialist, and they submitted for this permit over a month ago. And, of course, similar to all state-issued permits, this permit from the state takes way longer to obtain than any city permit because their sphere of influence is way bigger than the city or the county. And now even might get delayed a little bit more because of the hurricane. So we recently attained the status of the application from the Chappelle Group, and they advised it would take approximately 3 to 4 more months to obtain the CCCL permit from the state. And so once this permit is obtained, then we can go forth and continue the pending city and county permits at those respective levels. And because of these reasons, we would greatly appreciate a 120-day extension.
So you're saying you can't even apply for a city permit?
We already have applied, but they halted us halfway through the process when zoning was reviewing, and they said the floodplain manager cannot go forth and approve his
So you're asking for
review.
120 days? Is that correct?
Yeah.
To get a permit for a
Everything is being tied up with the state right now, and
permit for a
this is for a tiki hut.
right?
The
Yeah.
tiki
Yeah.
hut.
How's
Yes.
the city feel about what they're requesting?
Sorry?
How does the city feel about what they're requesting?
The city agreed with a 118 days extension. It's
City
too,
agrees with
it's
118
too difficult to have this permit.
I have a motion.
And the mandatory reappearance.
What did you say?
Mandatory reappearance.
Reappearance.
A mandatory reappearance.
Okay. When?
So-
The city would have, and just for the record, Rhonda Montoya Hassan with the City Attorney's Office. What the property owner's rep is saying is absolutely correct. It does take an extensive time for the state to issue those type of permits. They already have the permits in with the city, that cannot be issued until the state permit. So we would, agree that the 120 days is in order, but would also like a mandatory reappearance at the 120-day mark. Hopefully, they'll have their permit by then, but just, we definitely like to make sure or get a status update at that point if they don't.
Okay, got it. All right, that's 119 days, by the way, all right? That's the next, that'll be the next, the second hearing. So I'll entertain a motion.
Excuse me, can I ask a question of the respondent? Have the plans that were submitted for the city permits, have they been reviewed by the city?
Yes, they have been. They just halted the process because they
No, I
just-
understand that part.
Yeah.
So they have been reviewed by the city, and have they been approved other than this outstanding permit from the state?
Yes.
Okay, great,
Yes.
thank you.
I have a motion
Go ahead.
to extend for 119 days for 1/24/2023.
With the mandatory. Mandatory appearance.
Oh, and mandatory
Of course.
reappearance.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion by Chris. I have a second. I got a second by Terry. Okay, let's vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, hearing none, motion carries. 119 days.
Thank you so
See you
much.
then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case.
Our next case is on page 1. Inspector Jose Saragusti, property address 323 Southwest 16th Street, case number BE 2202-0007, owner John W. Field Jr. Notice posted at the property on 8/17/22, posted at City Hall 9/13/22. This is a new business case.
Good morning.
Good morning, Board. Inspector Saragusti on behalf of the city presenting the case as read. This case was opened in February 1st, 2022. During my daily inspection, I discovered a new fence without permit on record. Inspection report was mailed on February 1st, 2022. Final notice was mailed on May 4th, 2022, and notice of hearing was mailed on August 15, 2022. There is not any permit applied for this fence. This property can be cited by the Florida Building Code 2020 under section 105.1, work without permit. The city is requesting 56 days to comply or $50 per day thereafter. I will let the respondent to speak.
State your name, sir, and your relation to the property.
Actually, I'm the owner along with my uncle, and I'm also the contractor for this property,
What's your name?
Dino Bretti. I'm the one that built the fence, I'm the one that cut the tree down, but apparently, we did apply for a permit, and it's been reviewed 3 times. I went in there, and the drawings were accepted, the permit was approved. I don't know why they're not giving me the permit just for the fence. They're trying to hit me with the tree. That was actually a nuisance tree. It was dying. It was in the middle of the wires in the backyard. Of course, I didn't take good pictures of that. Excuse me. But I'm also the one who cut the tree down because it was in the fence line. It was in the wires in the back, so the tree was a nuisance tree, oak tree. And I understand you need a permit for that, but the tree was actually a nuisance tree. Tried to get Florida Power and Light to come out, cut it down with aspen. They didn't want to do it. And they said anything that's on my property is my property and my problem. So basically, the fence was an existing fence. It was a chain link fence, but the tree actually caused problems for it. Also up front, on the east side of the house, the lady's tree next door fell and destroyed the whole fence. I have pictures if you guys would like to see them.
Sure.
The tree actually destroyed the same exact fence that was there. So I do not need a permit for that side. I know that for a fact because I'm a contractor. Been one for 40 years. And as far as the fence on the west side, I actually built that. And there was an existing fence except in the front and gates. But I had no problem.
You applied for the
Apparently it
permit?
was- Yeah, it was already approved, but they're
And it
not
was
giving it to
approved.
me because of the tree. I have to get an arbor to sign off on the tree, which is ridiculous. I think they should let me get the permit for the fence, deal with that, and then we'll deal with the tree. If they still want to persist on that.
What's the city have to say?
We agree with the 56-day extension.
What is he supposed to do?
Well, they already approved my drawings for the fence. Why can't they just give me the permit? So I
don't
can
know.
finish the fence in the backyard.
I don't know. I'll have to wait for the
Inspector,
city.
mean, if it's
what is it
approved,
you
they
want
should
him
give
to
me the
do in the
permit.
next 56 days?
I will be in contact with the customer, and we will see which is the best situation, but I think with extension, it's a fence permit, he can resolve it.
Can we declare this, Mark?
Yeah.
Can we declare this closed? Can we declare this closed? Let the city reopen something else on the tree?
I don't know.
Ask-
I mean, they keep sending me letters stating the same thing.
Hang on one
Bill-
second. Go ahead, Rhonda.
Violation not found, you said?
And again, for the record, Rhonda Montoya Hassan with the City Attorney's Office. These would be like part of the review process. I mean, without a permit process number or without, researching the permit application, it's rather difficult to say if that comment is accurate or not, or what the what landscaping would have to do with a permit. But within the 56 days, it should be sufficient to hopefully resolve that issue, if that indeed is an issue, and obtain the permit.
Yeah, but I don't
So
see the
without a-
sense in finding a violation if there's no
With
violation.
with no fine.
I have a motion.
Well, there's been no permit issued for the fence, unless the property owner would like to submit the permit number, and then we can pass the case and go look in the system.
Right.
But the fence, the inspector has testified that there's no permit for the fence, and a permit application is not a permit. So, again, obviously it's up to the board to find if a permit is not needed for a fence that's there. Permits are required for fences.
Right.
So,
There's no question there's a permit's required.
Sorry, the fence
Sounds to me like
permit
they're
is in
holding them up because
process
of the
in
tree.
June.
And that's what he's saying.
Hello?
I don't have any evidence of that one, right there. Yes.
Sorry. Are you asking if the fence portion of the violation is complied? Obviously, a permit number is not a permit, but is the question that, are you trying to figure out if there's compliance with the fence or no?
My mind, I want to know whether or not why his permit's being held up.
Right, so that's, in my mind, I'm thinking that and I'm superimposing thoughts.
Yeah.
But are you saying that maybe because it's being held up, it's somewhat complied, it's just being held up?
All right. Well,
Is that what you're
that's what
saying?
he's saying. That's what the
But
violation.
is that what you're also thinking or asking? I'm just trying to
Yeah, I'm
clarify.
trying to figure that
And
out.
also, the
Well-
question is, how can you,
I had a
if
friend of
it's
mine
two
that owns,
two different things, if it's two different things, one's a tree and one's a fence.
Right.
How can it be
The
fixed?
violation is for the fence, the wood fence.
So
But
again, there are internal processes and other avenues, if indeed, again, because we don't see a comment being presented, if that is part of the regulatory review, then that's part of the regulatory review. If the property owner doesn't believe that that should be part of the regulatory review, there is a process for that. The property owner can appeal to the Board of Rules and Appeals and say that the removal of a tree should not be a condition, the addressing of the removal of a tree should not be a condition precedent to the issuance of a fence permit. So there are other avenues for the property owner to challenge, if indeed that's a requirement, through the county board that oversees building permits. But the building code is crystal clear, and this board hears that, and the magistrate has heard it for decades, that a fence requires a permit.
There's no question about
And
that.
again, we can allow him more time if he wants to, if we go back and we see that the city is requiring an issue with a letter from an arborist, if he objects to that and wants to avail himself of an appeal process, which he is absolutely entitled to do, we can allow him more time to comply.
Question.
But there's certainly, there shouldn't be at this juncture an issue that a fence requires a permit.
There's no question the
I have a
fence definitely
question.
required the permit. He's saying he applied for the permit and it got held up.
Yes, everything's
Do you have
been
any
approved.
evidence of what you're saying?
Everything's been approved. I have a friend of mine that owns Alico Construction. I gave him all my drawings, everything.
All right. but-
All these letters they keep sending me
You
about
say
the
it's
tree
been
and the
approved.
fence.
What has been approved?
The drawings have been approved for the
You
permit.
have evidence that it was approved.
That's what he was telling me, that all my drawings been approved. He's talked to the engineer at Fort Lauderdale City Hall or whatever, the building department, and he's talked to a couple other people there, and they all said that the drawings have been approved for the fence. I don't see why they cannot just give me my
Ron,
permit for the
do you-
fence
Ron, do
so
you
I
have
can
any
finish the
evidence
back
that the
half of
drawings
it.
were
And then if
approved?
they want to come after me for the tree,
Hang
that's
on,
fine.
hang
We'll
on,
settle that
Hang
later.
on. Do you have any evidence that the drawings were approved?
Well, I mean, he's the one making that assertion, so
It's
he
not an
should show
assertion.
the printout that it was approved.
Doesn't the city have this information?
I need to check
They
in the
should have it
system.
on.
I cannot
You need
tell
to
you
check
that,
it. Okay.
but I need to be in contact with a property owner and take a look together.
Do you want to pass this case then, Mr. Chair?
Yes,
And then we'll look it up.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, do that. Look it up. Look it up.
We're gonna pass it.
I want to find out whether or not it's been approved.
I just,
And I'm gonna
Excuse me.
go outside and call Alico for it.
Okay.
All right.
I, go ahead, sorry.
Is it,
Why should we make
if I could
him
ask a
do
question?
this?
So what it sounds to me, what I'm hearing is perhaps that in the plan review process, the drawings themselves, the survey and the fence plan showing the layout have been approved,
Yes.
perhaps. But still seems to be an outstanding issue why the permit itself hasn't been.
Because of the tree. Would you like
Because
to
of
read
the
the
tree.
letter that they
Okay.
keep sending
So
me?
this is
Yeah,
part
give me
of
the
the
letter.
plan review process. So someone could easily make a statement that the drawings have been approved,
They
which
keep sending me all
that's
this.
key. But that's only a portion of the review process to receive a permit. Landscape is a requirement, and if there was a tree in the way and you needed to take it out, then there's a tree removal process, and perhaps they're asking you with this arborist letter, that's part of the tree removal process to qualify the value of the tree so the impact can be assessed.
Well, that's impossible when the tree is not there anymore.
That's what I'm seeing in these pictures. So
That's
see
why I
no
don't
evidence of
understand
a
why they're
tree.
worried about a tree and stopping me from the permit on the fence.
Well, was there
Let's
a tree
do the
there?
fence
Yeah.
first and then
So,
worry
slow down.
about the tree.
There you
Was
go.
there a tree there?
Yes,
And you removed it?
I admit it.
Okay,
And
fine.
It was in,
So do you have
it was in
any-
the power lines, right next
Okay,
to,
wait.
right
Next
next to
question.
that telephone pole.
Do you have any qualification of the tree in terms of its
I've
caliber?
been doing construction for 40 years. I've done trees, I've
No.
built.
My question is, do you have any information about that tree that you removed?
No, neither do they. They just have one picture of it.
All right,
that
well,
they
why
sent
don't we
me.
table this until the city can look up to see whether or not what he's saying has got any truth to it?
I mean, if there's any
I-
recordings for real from Florida Power and Light, like they say, they record everything. You can also find out that they know that I called them about this tree.
Okay.
So-
Because it actually
Hang on,
caught on
sir.
fire once.
I got it. Hang on. What?
So obviously, the board can do as they wish, but for purposes of making a decision, I'm just stating that I'm not sure if delaying the case changes anything, if in fact there is a present violation. So for purposes of you being efficient and kind of sticking to the agenda, if there's a violation that is evident, then my recommendation would be to make a decision, but the board can do this.
Decide now. She recommends.
I mean, if you look at the pictures of my fence, I actually do overkill on my
Is
stuff.
that tree on your property or on this property?
Excuse me,
Tree.
sir?
Is the tree on this property or your?
It was in between my property and the next property. It was right dead center of my fence line.
Is that
The
an
old- It's
easement
not even
area?
there no more, but I'd have to look at my phone and show you old pictures, but like I said, it was in the power lines, it was dying.
But the
Caught on
point
fire.
is it on your property?
It was on both, mine and the next door
Did you
neighbor.
submit your paperwork for the permit after the fact, after you built the fence, then you submitted it?
Well, my uncle was supposed to do it, which is the deed holder of the property.
So it got
Okay.
submitted after
He
the
was
fact.
supposed to do this, but he didn't know how to do it online. So eventually, as I'm doing the fence, because what happened is that the fence got destroyed by a couple of storms, recently, and it was a chain link fence. So I had to fix the fence because we have dogs, and
Are
we
there
have.
any permits, or is there any processes toward getting a permit for the tree removal?
Yes, we did it. He did it online, but I ended up having to do it because I've been in construction all my life, and I'm a busy man, so I didn't have time to do it. So I was building the fence on my days
No,
that
I'm
I wasn't
asking
working or
about
whatever,
the tree right now.
and then of course trying to do the permit myself is kind of hectic. I don't know if anybody
Go ahead.
knows about that.
Madam Clerk.
I'm sorry. There's a tree removal permit from 2018. Online, it still says in process when in fact it should be expired because nothing has been done. It hasn't been issued. It's just the last notes on here. We're waiting. It was in the bin waiting for,
Is that when the tree removal permit application
What
was submitted?
what date was this?
this is in 2018. You have a tree
2018?
removal permit
Yes, that was when
of
it
3
was,
hazardous trees.
yeah.
Okay, but what about the fence permit?
The fence permit actually says awaiting client reply from 6/27/22.
And I have it
So
all
since
right,
June
Waiting for your
27th,
reply.
they've been waiting for a client's reply.
right here. I had to send it to Alico, like I said, my
But
contract.
I just want to clarify for the board, if that is the same tree removal permit application from 2018
That's when the tree was
that has
removed.
expired, then have there been any attempts to renew that so that the permit for the fence can be issued?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of, ma'am. All I know is that I've been trying to get this permit pulled for the fence for the last 6 months.
I'll entertain a motion.
Sounds like the right thing.
I mean, they keep sending me the same letter over and over, built within the property line. It's built within the property
I
line.
think the current
Excuse me, board.
recommendation is to give an extension for compliance,
Uh,
56 days.
Senior Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, I don't see why we are hung up on the tree situation. This is a simple case of work without permit. The respondent is not denying that he installed a fence without permit. So there is the
Keep telling me to
violation,
frickin' redo the
which
permit over
he's
and
being
over
cited
and
for.
over again.
So there is no issues with the
And I know what
case.
I'm doing.
There is or isn't.
These
a
guys
violation.
don't.
There is a violation. He
Motion.
Okay.
installed a fence, he's not denying that,
That's fine.
and he doesn't have a permit.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
That's right.
Go ahead.
You open for
I have a
motion?
motion that we move and find that from the city, the violation exists as alleged, and that we order the property owner to come into compliance by 56 days or amount of $20 per day per violation be imposed and recorded.
Second.
All right, I got a motion by Chris, a second by William. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I just want to state on record what
For
I'm,
the last 6 months.
I understand, so I'm explaining to him
And they
that
keep
he-
sending me letters stating that I actually got to do the
But-
same thing
but
over and
before
over
the
again, and
fine-
I'll show you the drawings.
Before
I have
the
to do it
fines
like in
kick in,
kindergarten.
You have almost 2 months to communicate with the inspector and try to reopen that tree
All
permit.
you have to do is reopen and start the process.
Why is
Yeah, I
the-
understand that,
Get with
but the
inspector.
fence
Just
issue
get with
is the main
inspector
thing
now.
that I'm trying to get done. Then, if they want to keep persisting on this tree ordeal,
You have to go and she was just saying there is a procedure.
yeah, I know,
There's
there's,
two
there's
violations.
a
It's
process
The
going through
city,
this.
the
Just get
city
the
said,
There are two
the city clerk
violations.
said that they're waiting
To
for a
renew the
reply
tree.
from you. They're waiting for a reply from you in regards to the fence.
Yeah,
So you need to
And he
get
also
together.
needs to reopen the tree permit so that he can
Right.
get through
Yeah,
the
that's
fence
part of it.
part.
well, like I said, from what I understand, my friend Alico Construction, he says the permit's approved for the fence already. You know, the drawings have been approved, so I don't know why they won't.
The
hold me
permit
up.
is not approved. The
The
permit,
drawings have been approved, I said.
But the permit's
the permit,
That means-
which, no, it does not mean that.
It
And
does mean, if the drawings are approved, that means I get a permit.
No, it does
So I
not.
can finish my fence.
Wrong. It does not. So, first of all, it's an owner-builder permit, which is not you. You are not the owner of the property.
Yeah, I
Number
know.
two,
He
no,
said he was.
Just because I'm not
Okay.
on the deed doesn't mean nothing.
yes, it does.
If I can actually go, I want me to get a letter from my uncle?
Nope.
I can get a letter notarized.
Doesn't
stating
matter.
the Property's mine.
Doesn't matter, sir. Doesn't matter.
It does
No,
matter.
No, it does not. And
Yes, it
number
does.
two,
See,
the
you guys are
permit
flying by
indicates
wings.
corrections needed by the property owner, which is not you, since June. It's just a fence, and it needs to go through the process.
Okay,
It's,
yeah,
it's,
that- I have
Stay
no
in
problem with
communication with the building inspector. We have to move on.
that. Yeah, I know. I
Next
just have no
case.
problem with that. I just wish if the drawing's been approved, let's go through the whole ordeal and get my permit so I can finish the fence. They want to
They're
keep
waiting on your
persisting on the
reply.
tree.
They've been
I'll
waiting on
get
your
that
reply since
renewed.
June.
That's not a problem.
Okay, next case.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Our next case is on page 5. It's a hearing to impose fines.
Was there a vote?
Oh, sorry.
No, we didn't do the vote. We did a
Found
I'm-
found there was a violation?
I thought they did.
Unanimous.
unanimous.
It was unanimous.
Unanimous.
I voted aye.
So was the, that's it? Vote fine? I can go on to the next case?
It's unanimous.
Okay, thank you.
Call the roll call on that? Do you want to call the roll call on that?
Mr. Madfis?
Yes.
Mr. Beecham?
Do I get any paperwork stating that? Can I get something?
Mr. Beecham?
Get a piece of paper
Do you
stating.
vote yes on that motion? Thank you. Ms. Everett? Yes.
No.
Mr. Marks?
In the mail, I'll get it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're
ladies.
welcome.
Have a good morning.
Mr.
You too.
Nolan? Yes. And Chair Booth?
Yes.
6-0.
Okay. Next case is.
Our
which
next
one?
case is on page 5. It's a hearing to impose fines. Property address 1448 Northwest 6th Street. Case number BE 21020069. Owner Marglip Investments LLC. There are 4 extensions noted. Notice posted at the property on 9/12/22, posted at City Hall 9/13/22. This case was first heard on 1/25/22 to comply by 3/22/22. One section at $100 per day, order recorded. Comply. City is requesting to impose fines of $1,900.
Inspector Saragusti, on behalf of the city, updating the case as read. The case is complied. I will let the respondent to speak. The property
sir.
owner.
So we're Miguel Pilgrim, owner of Marglip Investments. We've been doing this now for about the beginning of the year. I've never missed a hearing, never missed anything. I've been in compliance, no matter what the situation was. I've been in conversation with the inspector, with the city, with staff, and now we're imposing fines that has nothing to do with me, nothing at all. It takes 6 months to get a roofer. It takes another 3 months to get a structural engineer. I've been here, I've been whatever it takes to get this addressed. So why am I paying fines when I'm following exactly what I've been told to do by the city? This is the question that I have.
I will answer you. Since the last hearing, it was not allowed another extension until the case is complied. You have 19 days. The fees are for those 19 days. From the last hearing until the roof demolition is done. For that one, you have the 19 days and you have the right to discuss the amount.
So you asked me to get the roof permit. I got that. At the last hearing, you said I need a structural engineer. I got the guy who built the building to take care of that. Now, everything is compliance. Now I'm being penalized. I don't control the supply chain. I can't make an engineer say, hey guys, we had an entire COVID period, but put me as a priority. How is that my fault?
I will let you know, we will not request the roof permit because the violation was unsafe structure. We will not request the roof permit, correct? The structure is what the problem, not the roof. For that one, the case was opened with Florida Building Code 116.11 for unsafe structure, and until you remove the roof structure, it was unsafe. And now it's compliant.
I understand that. But you said put a roof permit in. I got one. You can't get one quick like you did 2 or 3 years ago. It takes time. Then you say it's unsafe structure. A structural engineer, if you call today, it's going to tell you I got about 3 months before I can come in. So why am I being
Sir, you need to
penalized for
address
that?
your comments to the board in terms of reducing the fine. No, we're not arguing back and forth with the
I'm
ins-
not arguing, ma'am.
Yes, you are.
This is a
You're
conversation.
not, but your comments are not directed to the inspector. The fines ran, he explained why and how the fines ran. The fines can be waived or reduced to admin costs or waived in total by the board, not by the
Admin
inspector.
cost. What are the admin costs?
The administrative cost is $1,427.
$14.27 for admin cost.
Administration cost, yes.
What are the total fines?
The original cost is $1,900.
And I expect the administrative costs represent the entire scope of the violation, not just the last 19 days. Is that correct?
The administrative costs obviously comprise a number of things, the times it went to hearing, the times the
Exactly. I
inspector had to
understand.
go out.
So it's not just covering the 19-day period.
Correct, the certified mailings, the
So, yeah, so
postings.
it shows that there's a significant amount of city time involved as well as your time. And it all occurred because the building was in violation to begin with. So this is why we have fines. And then when it's an unsafe structure, we're concerned because we have hurricanes. And if someone neglects that because they think, oh, I got another month, I got 2 more months, I haven't, whatever reason, we need to make sure that that is going to be a priority. So these are why fines are put in place. And if there's performance on the respondent's side,
What kind of
the board
building
will
is this,
consider.
sir?
It's a two-story concrete building built in 1945. Previously, it was a restaurant with 2 stories. The roof collapsed, which affected the second story. I've replaced the entire second floor.
Has anyone occupied it since it was
No.
unsafe?
Never has occupied it since I bought the building 6, 7 years ago.
I think I've heard enough. I'll entertain a motion.
What was your recommendation again?
Our recommendation, the administrative cost is reasonable.
How much? Repeat it.
$1,427.
Is that a recommendation or is that just the administration? Right.
Yes, I have here the information.
So what are we recommending?
I was.
1,400, the administrative cost.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Recommendation is just for fines.
No, the
No, for
recommendation
admin
is to waive the fines and just assess the administrative costs.
All right, I have a motion.
So it's like a $500 reduction, the
Yeah.
fines versus the. admin
Correct.
costs.
Go ahead, Terry, if you want. Up to you. So I move that we.
He's has a proffer for an alternative amount that he wants on record.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm requesting a reduction or a removal. You know, I understand. I'm not arguing with anybody.
Well, you want it down to 0?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
He wants 0, the city wants 1,400.
Yeah.
We can make any.
We can make it anything we want.
Your motion can be anything. Right, so let's go halfway on it. And those, make a motion to reduce the administrative costs to $700.
I got a motion by Terry. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got a second by William. Let's talk about this before we vote on it. Because we have waived fines and costs for cases where a lot worse than this, a lot worse. This guy comes in, he gets everything done. I say, let's go to 0, man. That's what I'm saying.
I withdraw my second and have another motion.
Oh, we got to vote on the motion. Don't we have-
Is that appropriate?
Well, if he's withdrawing his, then I got to see if anyone else is going to second Terry's before we.
I don't hear. Sorry, I don't hear.
I'll come back in second, Terry's motion. I feel that that's a significant reduction, and from what I understand, the building has been out of compliance for a long time. The inspection, the violation may have been acquired recently within the year, but the owner, gets to assess their own property and make sure it's in compliance. It's not up to the city.
For the record,
To go out
Williams
there
withdrawn
and
his
do that
second.
job.
Michael has seconded the motion, so let's vote on the motion. All in favor, say aye.
This is Terry's motion?
Terry's motion. All,
Right.
but then
I seconded.
he seconded. So, all
Second
in
was
favor,
withdrawn.
say aye.
Keep back in second.
Take the roll call, please.
Mr. Madfus?
Yes.
Mr. Beecham? No. Please use your mic. Ms. Everett?
No.
Mr. Marks?
No.
Mr. Nolan?
Yes.
And Chair Booth?
No. So that fails. Did you want to make a second motion?
I do.
Go ahead.
I move that we find the violations were complied with by the date ordered, and we impose a fine of $0 for the day, zero.
Wait, I'm sorry.
The compliance was not achieved by the date ordered.
Okay, that's not part of it.
I move that we find the violation was complied with and that we impose 0 fines and 0 administrative costs for the days which the property was out of compliance.
Okay, I got a second by William. I got a motion by William. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got a second by Justin. Do you guys want to discuss this at all before we vote?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, why are we going back down to 0 when the city has incurred costs in this? Okay.
Your
To
point's well
answer you,
taken.
as was
Points well
discussed,
taken. There are costs that were incurred.
we've removed fines of much larger than this for very severe cases. I don't see that myself.
All right, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take the roll call.
Mr. Madfus? Mr. Beecham? This is for no fine? Yes?
He's voting yes.
Ms. Everett?
Yes.
Mr. Marks?
Yes.
Mr. Nolan?
Yes.
And Chair Booth?
Yes.
5 to 1.
Okay. So we don't ever want to see you again, man. Good luck.
I appreciate that.
Next case.
Looks like we don't have any more respondents, so going back to page 1,
That's it. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks, guys.
case at the top of page 1, property address 621 Southeast First Ave. That case has been withdrawn. The next case, property address 5990 Northeast 22nd Way. Owner, Michael and Jillian Elefante. Case number BE 22020070. Notice posted at the property 8/29/22. Posted at City Hall 9/13/22. This is a new business case.
Good morning, Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. Work without permit was done as this property consisting but not limited to a new wood deck, new concrete patio with a shade structure, an outdoor kitchen, new backyard lighting and outlets. The property was cited for work without permits under Section 105.1 of the Florida Building Code 2020. This case was opened on February 9, 2022. Inspection report was mailed to the property owner on February 10, 2022. Final notice was mailed on May 11, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted at the property on August 29, 2022. Permit application number BLD RADD 22040003 was submitted, but it needs corrections and owner hasn't provided required information. We are asking the board to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 56 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
I move that we fine for the city and the violation exists as alleged, and we order the property owner to come in compliance in 56 days or a fine of, what did you say?
50.
$50 per day per violation would be imposed and recorded.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Page 2, Inspector Jose Saragusti, property address 700 Southwest 24th Ave. Owner, Mohammed Abdul Martin Parvin Mateen. Case number BE 22030117. Notice posted at the property on 8/17/22. Posted at City Hall 9/13/22.
Inspector Saragusti, on behalf of the city, presenting the case as read. This case was opened on March 25th, 2022. I received a call from fire inspector for a car accident in the property. There are building parts which are deteriorating and not maintained. Inspection report was mailed on June 1st, 2022. Final notice was mailed on June 30th, 2022, and notice of hearing was mailed on August 15, 2022. No permit issued for this violation. The property has been cited by Florida Building Code 2020, Broward County Edition, under Section 9-280D, buildings part deteriorated and not maintained. The city is requesting 56 days to comply. or $50 per day thereafter.
I move that we find the city and the violation exists as alleged, and then we order the property owner to come into compliance in 56 days or a fine of $50 per day per violation be imposed.
I got a motion by Chris, second by Terry. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, hearing none, motion carries.
Moving on to page 3 at the bottom, property address 110 Southeast 11th Ave, owner Alexander S. Dimitri, case number BE 211-10142. Notice posted at the property 9/12/22, posted at City Hall 9/13/22. This case was first heard on 5/24/22 to comply by 6/28/22. One section at $25 per day, order recorded, non-compliant. There are 2 extensions noted.
Inspector Saragusti, on behalf of the city, updating the case as read. The case is not compliant. The city is requesting the case return as a massive hearing.
Entertain a motion. All right, I'm gonna go to Massey. Next case.
Moving on to page 5. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Property address 120 Northwest 16th Street. Owner, Northwest 16th Street Land Trust, number 120 Trust, Florida Trust Services LLC trustee. Case number BE 211-00149. This case was first heard on 1/25/22 to comply by 2/22/22. One section at $25 per day, order recorded, not complied. Notice posted at the city is requesting to impose fines of $875, which continues to accrue. There are 5 extensions noted. Notice posted at the property on 9/12/22, posted at City Hall 9/13/22.
Inspector Saragusti, on behalf of the city, updating the case as read. The case is not compliant. The city is requesting impose the fine of $875.
Entertain a motion.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Impose the fines.
Not complied.
It's not compliant.
Have you had any communication with them at all?
Yes, yes. We've been in contact and there's no progress in the case.
So the
Entertain a motion.
would be that we should impose the fines and they continue to accrue, correct?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Or said, oh, yeah.
I did the motion.
I move that we impose the fines as stated and that they continue to accrue.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion by Terry to impose fines and to continue to accrue. I have a second by Chris. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, hearing none, motion carries.
At the bottom of page 5, property address 1220 Northeast 16th Ave, case number BE 211-20141. Owner, Tyrone Fem Trust, Norman Tyrone trustee. Notice posted at the property 9/12/22, posted at City Hall 9/13/22. This case was first heard on 5/24/22 to comply by 6/28/22. One section at $50 per day, order recorded, complied. City is requesting to impose fines of $2,800. There is 1 extension noted.
Inspector Saragusti, on behalf of the city, updating the case as read. The case is compliant. The city is requesting to impose the fines.
Entertain a motion.
Impose fines?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the city's recommendation again?
Impose the fines.
I move that we find the violation.
It's in compliant now. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. She's doing a motion, go ahead.
I move that we find the violations were complied with on the date ordered and impose the fines of $2,800
And they continue to accrue?
for the, which the property was out of compliance and they
It's
continue.
complied.
It's compliant, yes.
So just 2,800, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, do I have a second on that? I got a motion by Chris, second by Terry. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, hearing none, motion carries. Next case.
Page 6, property address 1952 Northwest 9th Ave. Case number BE 22010036, owner Sun Tracks Corp., in care of Hadiga Hayder. Notice posted at the property on 9/12/22, posted at City Hall 9/13/22. This case was first heard on 6/28/22 to comply by 8/23/22. One section at $50 per day, order recorded, not complied. City is requesting to impose fines of $1,700, which continues to accrue.
Entertain a motion.
Inspector Saragusti, on behalf of the city, updating the case as read. The case is not comply. The city is requesting to impose the fines.
Entertain a motion.
I have a motion to impose the fines and then continue to.
Second.
I got a motion by Chris to impose the fines as stated of $1,700. They continue to accrue. Is that correct? Is that accurate?
I second.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
And I got a second by Justin. All in favor,
wait,
say aye.
wait,
Sorry, wait. Can I ask a question regarding this item? So when we vote right now to impose fines, even though the violation is not complete and it's going to continue to accrue, does this restrict us from removing those fines if the if applicant comes in at the completion and requests that?
That's what we did today, didn't we?
Right.
We did that today.
No, I do not
Okay, so I
believe
guess
that
my-
it
my-
prohibits
my
you
point
from
is,
later
we
abating
someone
them.
earlier today who showed up and asked for nothing different than this or even the other ones we just.
I can't hear it.
I'm sorry, can you hear me or not? Hello, is this on?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So I'm just saying is that we've been given back fines, and I don't see anything different here. And as a matter of fact, what I'm suspecting here is this is a operating business and doing the best that they can, and perhaps put the fence in to, make their business operate better. I'm making all this up, but the point is that why are we choosing not to support someone like this and go ahead and impose fines that may not be able to be removed later?
Well, this one is different. This one is not complied.
Right.
This is,
And
And
let me
the guy
let
didn't
me
even
tell you
come.
Thank you.
something.
Are you, and they're not here to ask for their fines to be abated, and
get
it's
that.
still
I get
not.
that.
Also, they don't answer any message, any call. They don't
And
care.
this gentleman that
That's an
we-
important
the gentleman
feature
that we
right there. Thank
reduced, to zero, well, he was here at every meeting. And he.
No, I appreciate the fact that this gentleman, that the inspector just pointed out that he has been non-responsive. So that's a very important factor. Thank you.
Okay, I entertain, let's call, vote on this. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Hearing now, motion carries. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our cases for the September 27, 2022
Tasha,
Code Enforcement Board hearing.
Motion for page 7.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Not so fast, Tasha.
she
Okay.
is thorough.
On page 7, we would like to have all the cases listed into the record as closed.
Yes, I have a motion to everything that's on page 7 be in the record as closed.
A second.
I got a motion by Chris, a second by Justin. All in
Yeah,
favor, say
but-
aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing now, motion carries.
We also have the minutes from the August hearing. We'd like for approval.
Motion that we approve the minutes from the August hearing.
I got a motion by Chris, I got a second by Terry to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Anyone oppose that? Motion carries. Go ahead. We're good.
Is there any business for the city?
No. They provide umbrellas.
You got a pen?
Okay, thank you. This concludes our September 27, 2022 Code Enforcement Board hearing. Thank you, everyone.
no meeting next month, right?
And no meeting next month. We'll see you